Hey modders, welcome back to ModifedRoll. We're sponsored by DM Dice. Use the code ModifedRoll or follow the link in the description to get 10% off all your adventuring needs. We're also sponsored by Arcanist Rum. Check them out and use code ModifedRoll to get 15% off all purchases and free shipping. In our last episode, the party had worked their way into the villainous hideout. After stumbling upon some ominous clues, they were ushered onward by the sounds of screams. Bursting into a scene of torture, they began to cut down the creature in front of them. We rejoin them now in ModifedRoll Season 2, Episode 46. No pain, no chain. First of all, what all of you see is, now that it's its turn, it's sort of like taken in the room now, and it sees all of you in here, and it's had a second to collect itself. You guys see all of the chains that up until this point have been hanging on its body rise up like living creatures, like almost like snakes, sort of wrapping and writhing around its body, flying through the air around it. Not only that, you guys watch as it reaches both hands out and like grabs at something in midair, and the chains that I described that were hanging from the ceiling and festooned across the room all erupt in these barbed spines along their length, rip out of the walls and come to life. There are currently pretty much every other 5-foot space within this room has various chains that are now moving around.
Oh my.
To that end, doesn't fucking matter how far away you were, Gilliana, it's gonna attack you.
Okay, wait.
So you get your stabbing in.
Do I think I have an active for this? I think I do. Okay, doesn't matter.
I mean, I think...
You go.
I was gonna say, I think at this point you do have uncanny dodge, so I think if you do get hit, you can take half damage from one attack.
That's fine, I just had to check what that was.
That's fine. It is going to try and attack both you. One of them, like these living chains that are hanging from the wall, are going to lash out at you, Gilliana, and one of the ones it's wearing are going to rip around to try and attack Cerule.
Is this like the thing in Scooby-Doo movie when they're in the haunted house?
It has been a long
and they're like things come out.
It's been a long time since I've watched the Scooby-Doo movie.
And the sausages come out the wall, and they're like.
Oh yes, it's like that. Yes.
I've never seen this film, but I think I now
have to watch it.
Yeah, it's essentially lengths of sausage chain, like attack them. It's like that, but with actual chains. So that is going to be a 25 to hit you, Gilliana, which I'm pretty sure is going to hit.
Yeah.
And a 17 to hit Cerule. No, sorry, 16, which is just enough to hit, so he's going to hit both of you here, unfortunately.
Uncanny dodge.
Okay, so you're going to take half damage, which is good, because I rolled pretty high on that, so that's going to be 14 damage to you, reduced to 7.
Good.
But I also need you to make me either an athletics or an acrobatics check to try and make sure you aren't grappled.
Mm-hmm.
And Cerule, God, I rolled really poorly on his, which is good for him, only takes 7 piercing damage.
I got a natural 20 on the
God.
acrobatics.
Nice.
Yeah, you're not restrained. Let's see how Cerule does. What's he gonna do? He's gonna do a deck. He's gonna do... Christ, he gets +6 to this. He also got a nat 20. What the fuck?
The power of love.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two of you are completely like taken by surprise as these like chains come to life. You're literally looking at just like regular chains that would have been like maybe had manacles or something on the end of them. But as he reaches out and like grabs at thin air, you literally watch as the metal shakes. A bunch of barbs like erupt along its length, and the manacle at the end sort of transmutes and shifts into this sharp hook that then lashes out at you. Unfortunately, it does catch you maybe across like the chest, but you see as it goes to like the chain itself then goes to like loop itself around you like a lasso, but you just like leap into the air and it snatches around nothing. Similarly, the one that the creature lashes out at Cerule with does a very similar thing, tries to loop around him, but he ducks underneath and it catches in the air around him, missing him completely. So you've both taken some damage, the creature's still up. It roars in frustration and anger, but that is all it can do on its turn.
What are you trying to do? Grapple rogues for?
Well, specifically, I was trying to grapple the rogue so it can't keep moving.
Fair.
Joachim, as you begin your turn, can I get a wisdom saving throw, please?
Oh god! All right.
Bodes well.
Oh, I'm good at these actually. Oh no, yeah, that's a 9.
I seem to recall you saying something very similar whenever you had banishment cast on you. So this one's going to be, obviously, just for a one-shot, you maybe haven't given too much thought into this, but is there somebody important to Joachim? Somebody, maybe a previous relationship, member of the family or something, who has died that Joachim would have felt a strong emotional connection to?
Nope.
Died. Oh, interesting. God. He comes from a noble bloodline, so he probably has a fair knowledge of his previous bloodline and the people who have come before him and his father and his father's father and all that sort of stuff. So probably like his grandfather or his great-grandfather was like a significant member of the bloodline. And he'd be rather fond of them, maybe.
You watch as the creature before you, these chains whip around it almost like a tornado, completely obscuring it for view for a second. And as the chains fall away, it is no longer this horrific, muscular, red-skinned creature. Instead, it is that ancestor of yours that you had that close relationship with, and you see it stands there, like looking around, blinking its eyes, and it looks up at you. Joachim, why? You're currently frightened and suffer the frightened condition.
Oh, man. All right.
This only lasts for the duration of your turn, though.
Yep. Okay. All right. So in response to this, so Joachim suddenly sees like one of his ancestors looking at him and being like probably a disappointed look at him, and Joachim's like, "No, stop this," and that is him casting command.
So that's a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Oh, wisdom saving throws in this fight. Here we go.
It's all you.
Cocked. God damn it. God damn it. So you guys peek behind the DM screen here. This creature has magic resistance, so I've been rolling advantage on all of your spells.
I did wonder.
Yeah, on that one I rolled a 3, and the cock dice was very nearly a 17. I could have just said it was a 17, but I was, as per the rules of Dimension 20, I was honouring the cock. I rolled a second. I rolled a second 3. God damn it! So it fails.
Okay. So the command is simply just stop.
Cool. So until the end of, I believe, its next turn, it is now sort of frozen in place.
Yeah.
So it cannot move. I believe. What was the?
I mean, it's not whole person or anything.
Yeah, I was going to say,
like,
what is the extent of command?
It's like a one-word command, and then
Yeah, it's
they have
halt,
to-
so the target doesn't move. So yeah, like literally it gives the example, the target, if you say halt, for example, the target doesn't move and takes no actions. So there you go.
Very well.
All right. And Joachim will just sidestep so people have a better approach to, or a better opening to get into doing more damage.
Well, don't forget, Cerule had positioned himself where he was because he was trying to flank with you. So you're assuming there that somebody else will move into the flanking position.
Yeah.
That's fine. Cool.
If you're frightened, don't you have to use your movement to get away from?
You just can't
No.
move closer.
You can't move closer. Okay.
There is
are
an
cer-
effect that makes you flee. I forget
Yeah,
which one.
that's
Yeah.
a specific. There's a specific couple of spells that do that, but the frightened condition is
Okay.
any attack rolls are at disadvantage while the source of your fear is in sight, and you cannot willingly move closer to it. So long as he doesn't,
Yes.
he's already next to it, so he literally can't move any closer. So
You can't move any closer anyway.
cool. In which case, Giliana, with your back to the open doorway, you hear the door in that hallway behind you open.
Brilliant.
And you watch as a small red winged creature with a long scorpion-like tail pokes its head around the door. Hey! Ah! And rushes towards
Fuck.
you. Swiftly
Not
followed,
demon.
swiftly followed by another one, and then a cultist.
Fine. Totally fine. At least they didn't run away. I'd be more alarmed if they'd done that.
So attack on Giliana. That is going to be that's going to miss with a 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that misses. That's per. But yeah, you are currently blocking the door, so the others can't get through. But the cultist at the back, you watch as actually, what you see happen is the second one that flies out disappears.
Oh.
And then the cultist at the back.
Even better.
The cultist at the back is going to try and shoot you with a hand crossbow that he's holding.
Fuck you.
It's fine. It's another 13, so he's going to miss as well. Oh, these guys are useless. Which brings us to Eleanor. You can see through the doorway with your position that there is a small red winged creature attacking Giliana, and you heard the twang and watched as a crossbow bolt sailed past Giliana into the room. Plus, obviously, the creature is still in the middle of the room.
I would like to cast Cloud of Daggers on the position of the scorpion-tailed creature attacking Giliana. Because then hopefully if that fills the corridor, it will mess up anyone who tries to get past that choke point.
No, absolutely. That is one of the best uses of that spell I have ever seen.
Woo. Sweet. Okay, so that is... I think that just happens.
It does. Weirdly, it's one of these ones that I don't think they actually get to make a save. It just takes damage.
Nice. I can only cast it at second level, so that is 4d4.
So it is when it's...
Get an opportunity to move or something.
It is... So it only takes the damage when it starts its turn in the effect or enters it for the first time.
Okay.
So because you've cast it on it, the effect is in position, but it won't take damage until its turn.
Cool. No worries. I will hang fire then.
So yeah, you... what does it look like as you cast Cloud of Daggers?
I think I kind of gesture to my fangs, and then thousands of little fangs sort of erupt from my mouth and go and stab at this scorpion-tailed creature.
A Gatling gun of teeth.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
One of the worst things that's been described in this section. And I described a torture room.
Pretty grim. Yeah.
Giliana will be like, oh my god, Twilight!
Your teeth pour out of your mouth, fly over Giliana's head, and fill this 5-foot space of this room, swirling like a disgusting tornado in a dentist's nightmare. And this creature is immediately like, what the fuck? Which again, only you, Mercy, can understand. Anything else in your turn? Do you want to stay where you are? Do you want to move?
Let me just have a look. Is anyone looking hurt? Is anyone needing a heal? Because I could chuck a healing word at anyone.
I think, sadly for me, the only two people who've been injured have been Giliana and Cerule, and both of them have taken like very little
Yeah, I'm
damage.
not bad. I can
Cool.
last.
No worries.
I mean, Joachim's a little bit damaged from the rumour pits, but he's okay.
Oh, that's right. You haven't been healed up from that yet, have you? For the record, just so you guys are aware, for anyone who's not run one of these before, a Chain Devil is a CR 8 creature.
Oh.
This just goes to show you how fucking ridiculous a surprise round can be.
Cool.
Yeah, I think if no one is looking very ropey in terms of health, I'm gonna just hang back, and I'm just gonna stay where I am. I'm gonna hold my ground.
Cool. In which case, it is back to Mercy.
Okay. At risk of being slightly overkill, I think I'm going to cast Lightning Bolt because it's only 5 foot wide, and I don't care who's in the cage in front of me.
Well, I was going to say, none of you have stopped to inspect. Obviously, you guys can see the tokens. You can tell they're probably not good things in there, but you guys have no idea what's in those cells. And you're just like, fuck them guys.
Hey, Mercy was specifically named because she's not that. So yeah,
It's ironic.
lightning bolt
right?
is a
It's
stroke of lightning.
ironic pre-nominative determination.
A stroke that is 100 feet long and 5 feet wide, so it will get the creature and also the
Yeah,
wall.
it's going to blast a hole through the wall.
Yeah. So yes, dex saving throw, and then I'm not going to find 8d6. I'm just going to do
Right,
it
you
online.
start rolling damage, so I know if I actually have to bother. Yeah, you just roll damage because the one in the cell I might not even have to roll a save for.
Okay.
So the creature in the middle of the room only gets a 16 on its dex save. Is that enough?
That does save, yes.
Oh, thank God. I think you might still kill it.
So it's 42 lightning
Whoa.
damage after 21 for anyone that's saved. The save is 14. And it also ignites flammable objects that aren't being worn or carried.
I mean, I wouldn't worry too much
So we
about
might
that.
have another fire on our hands.
I'm just checking, does anything else happen to the one in the cell when it dies? Nope. Cool. Mercy, what does it look like as you cast Lightning Bolt and disintegrate both of these creatures?
Let's hope that they weren't anyone nice. I think that when Mercy casts Lightning Bolt, between her horns starts sparking like a generator when you see the sparks between the two things. And then she just reaches up and like takes a ball of lightning out with her hand and like cricket bowls it in front of her.
I just love the idea of you taking like a step and just like fully like big cricket ball over arm. Yeah, fantastic.
So it goes like, and I like to think that it hits one of the areas of the chains, so that it basically like sends electricity around all of the chains that make up this chain devil, and so it can't escape. Because it's
Yeah.
made of chains.
Absolutely. You cricket ball your lightning bolt. As it strikes, it explodes outward into that line of lightning. You guys all hear a sickening, very meaty, fleshy, soft explosion from the cell as something explodes against the walls, and you watch as the lightning arcs over this creature's body, bounces over. You actually watch as the lightning like arcs across all of the chains across its body, and it just stands there, sort of all the muscles tensed, extending its back, arched, as it just continuously shocks itself as the lightning dances back and forth across the chains until it burns away to ash and the chains fall to the ground in a pile. But even within a second of that happening, you watch even as the chains themselves begin to turn to dust and ash and smoke and drift away on what little breeze there is moving through this room through the open door.
Whoa.
So we are still initiative. We're still in initiative because there are still a bunch of people trying to get into this room. But the creature in front of you and the one in the cells that was caught in your lightning bolt are no more.
Oops. I think I don't have any bonus actions, so I think all Mercy would probably end up doing is like take a step forward and just have a little poke around in the ash.
You step up, you start. There's literally still people trying to kill you. You're like, what's in this ash?
Yeah.
Cool. It is Cerul's turn. Cerul can't get to the people in the hallway, so he's just going to move somewhere where he can take a crossbow bolt shot at them. Oh my God, Cerul, roll higher. Thank goodness they do not have a high AC. So that's going to be a total of 7 damage. So you watch as Cerul sort of steps into your line of sight, Giuliana, pulls the crossbow round, fires over your shoulder, and catches this little red creature in the wing, tearing one of its wings almost completely off. And it is still alive, but it is badly injured. And that brings us back to your turn.
She will. I'm trying to think of something witty to say. She'll just turn around and stab it with her sword. I can't think of anything.
I do imagine there's that second in characters, Giuliana, you turn around, sword out, and you go, whatever, and just stab it.
16?
16 is definitely enough to hit. So no sneak attack here, but you are pretty sure you're going to kill it regardless.
Hopefully. 10.
Fucking 10 damage. You turn around, this creature is like, with the wing torn, it is like dropped to the ground. You can see it trying to get its balance again, and you just take that opportunity to lean down, stab it, being very careful not to get caught by any of Eleanor's flying teeth, and catch the creature right in the neck, and you watch as it falls back, and similarly to the creature you saw in the room, when it hits the ground, its body immediately, from the point of the wound, begins to, it almost looks like necrosis to begin with. The skin like blackens, but then you see it falls away as burnt ash, and the body very quickly disappears. So as far as you're aware, there was one other one which you now cannot see, plus the cultist further down the hallway with a crossbow. Do you want to move or stay where you are?
Oh. Can I shut the door?
You absolutely can,
Shut the door. I'll step back and shut the door.
Shut the door, turn around to the rest of the group, wipe your hands off. Well, that's that resolved. Yeah, that's a free action. Do you want to move or stay where you are?
I'll stay. I'll try and... Well, I'll hold it shut. Can I do that?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'll hold it shut so you can't get in. For now.
Cool. In which case, Joachim, you've watched... I imagine pretty much everyone else in the room, their hair is currently like standing up on end from the static. But you've just watched Giliana stab one of these creatures and then just close the door on the remaining cultist. What would you like to do?
I think I'll take a moment now to get a proper lay of the room and take a look at the person that's on the rack. Are they still alive?
Oh yeah.
If you step up to them, you can see they are a human male. They are incredibly, like, most of their body is, if it isn't an open wound, it is currently covered in blood. The face is still mostly intact, but you can see there has been like some evidence of injury there. Part of the face is very badly swollen and bruised. You get the impression that this person was maybe knocked unconscious and then like brought here. You can clearly see they've obviously, like I said, they've been stripped naked. They have no sort of identifying features on them other than the fact that they are a human man sort of tied up and strapped to this rack. They are, I will say, still breathing, but it is ragged and coming in like short, sharp breaths.
I take it they're not conscious right now.
If they are, they're certainly not reacting to what's going on around them.
Okay. I mean, they're not dead, so he's just going to be like, okay, I think that we don't need to concern ourselves with that person too much. Then he'll spin around, take a quick look at the things in the cells behind him.
Cool. You look into the cells, and once again, you see something you are completely unfamiliar with. At first, they just look like lumps of badly molded flesh, but then you realize as you like look in through the bars that they begin to move and react to your presence, and you see what almost looks like if a human was made of wax, like a candle wax, and then melted. It is this horrible, shifting, almost liquid pink flesh with a drooping wide mouth, tiny little slashes in the flesh where their eyes should be, and these long, malformed, reaching arms. As they look up towards you, you assume that what the noise they're trying to make is speech of some form, but it is so twisted and unintelligible you cannot make out a word they're saying. For our players' benefit, I'm just going to move one of the tokens into the room and make it bigger so you can all see what he looks like.
Oh. That's great.
Some kind of flesh golem or something? Not even that.
Out of character for those at the table, these are lemurs.
That makes sense.
Lemurs.
Yeah. For
And
anyone,
stripy tails.
Ring-tailed lemurs.
yeah, for anyone unaware, these are what souls who first, like, if you sold your soul to a devil, this is what you turn into when you first appear in the Nine Hells. They are the lowest ranking devil out of the entire hierarchy, and they are very much just lumps of malformed flesh.
I think Joachim wouldn't know what these are. And
No, absolutely not. None of you
will
guys know what these are.
No idea at all. He'd look at the person on the rack and look back at the thing in the cell, and then back at the person on the rack and do the cell. Like, are they turning these people into those? maybe we just leave this room alone. I'm gonna check this other door over here and see if we've got another way out of here before whatever those things out in the other corridor are.
That door opens and you can see some form of sort of bed chamber / study. You can see there's a bed in here, there's a hearth, a desk, and like a chest for storing clothes and things. Unless you're going to spend your action to fully investigate the room, that's all you can spot for now.
I think he actually will. I don't have any more movement speed to be able to
Yeah, that's fine.
really delve in, but I can have a proper look around.
If you can't move any further into the room, then give me a perception check.
Okay. That's a 21.
Goddamn. I'm kind of glad you found this one, though, otherwise it would have been a very different ending. You notice with the 21, you step into the room, you immediately scan the room, and you're looking for things that are out of the ordinary, things that are possibly dangerous, or another route out of here. You immediately notice that the base of the bed, where there's like the legs of the bed, there are deep grooves in the ground. Not deep grooves, so it wouldn't be fucking wearing marks in the stone, but you can see like scratch marks where the bed has quite obviously been pulled down towards the door, which makes you think the bed has been moved regularly, and that causes your eyes to track up to the wall behind the bed, and you can just from this angle make out a seam in the wall, which indicates there's possibly a hidden door there.
Everyone, I think we've got a secret room out here. We've got another route out.
Oh God! Oh, thank God!
Is that everything for Joachim's turn?
Yep.
Cool. Giliana, with you holding the door, you hear the very brief flapping of some wings, and then... Eleanor, can I get the damage roll for the cloud of daggers, please?
Yes, you may. That's 10.
Which is exactly how many hit points this creature had.
Yay!
Hey!
Teeth for the win.
You hear a... and then just like the sound of gore as this creature is torn apart, and then silence. You then quickly followed by some like very quick footsteps, which then you can almost hear like a comical like skid, as you could tell the cultist was about to run into the same cloud of daggers and then thought better of it.
That might hold them at bay for a bit at least.
How long does Cloud of Daggers last?
Let's see.
I believe it's a minute.
Yeah, concentration up to a minute.
Oh, nice.
Right?
So you've got another 9 rounds of this, in which case, Eleanor, it is now your turn.
All right. Well, I'm keeping concentration on that, and I'm going to move into the room with Joachim and see if I can figure out how to open this door.
Yeah, Joachim points out the bed to you. You can quite clearly pull the bed a few feet towards the door, and you can see the seam in the wall. And if you just go up and have a look at it, you realize if you like press in on the edge of the seam, it's one of those ones there's like a latch, and you hear a click, and it freely swings towards you. And you can see what at first glance appears to be like a series of like stone altars. For whatever reason, there are 6 of them sort of arrayed across the wall here. You can also quite clearly see blood stained into the stone, and at the far end of the room is another door.
All right, I'll call out. There are stone. Sorry, what was it? Pedestals or
altars, like stone altar. Obviously, something has been sacrificed on these.
Yeah. There appears to be stone altars in here, and there's another door. So. We might have a way out yet.
Good to know.
I'll give you this for free as well. The door you can see is much thicker, heavier, and more ornate than the ones that like the rest of this place hasn't been ramshackle. Like the doors have all been like heavy wood, obviously to try and like dampen a lot of the sounds that you could hear, like screaming. But this one is like heavier, more ornate, like a very fancy hardwood with like brass inlays around the hinge and handle.
I will convey that as it appears all the interior decoration budget went on this one door.
Amazing. Is that everything for your turn?
I think I'm going to send a cheeky healing word to Joachim while I can. Just
Cool.
Yep.
Much obliged.
And that's 6 points of healing.
Beautiful. Then we're back to Mercy. Mercy, even as you're like poking through this ash in the ground, you realize that when it looked like it was being like blown away previously by a breeze, you get the impression this is in and of itself part of its like disintegration. Even the ash is like turning into finer, more minute particles and just disintegrating.
Interesting. I think Mercy will take note of that, but there's a lot going on. So right now it will be for later, and is going to head over to the table.
Just to give you this as well, give me a history check just as you're watching that.
Sure. That is a 17.
This very much reminds you of what happens, or at least whether or not you've maybe seen one in person, would have been described or seen in writings as what happens when a demon dies, in that the demon's body doesn't hang around. Like when a demon is dead, its body disintegrates, but the way it's been described for a demon is more of like a biological rotting, but almost accelerated, where the body almost seems to rot and turn into an ooze, which then dissipates into the ground, whereas this seems to be more like a burning up. But either way, it is the same result. The body is completely gone. You know that this happens for demons because their body isn't real. Like their body is something that's formed in the abyss, and what it is made up of on the material plane is essentially like magic given form. They essentially create bodies in the material plane, which without their soul to inhabit, disintegrates.
Okay, so the information I have right now is chiton, the fact that I can understand this weird language, and that they're probably not from this plane.
All very good assumptions.
Again, more information than we had 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I'm going to head to the table over here and start trying to. Can I like untie or is it manacles?
He is manacled, unfortunately. You do, however, see that on a table nearby is a big, like one of those big comically large like hoop rings with keys on them, sort of sat on a table.
Oh gosh.
How many keys?
Oh gosh.
There are only
how many keys?
There would only be 5 sets of keys.
Okay, that's a good chance.
I mean, you look around. You look around the room. You get the impression there's one for each of the cells, one for the stalks, and one for these manacles.
Oh gosh. Well, presumably the manacles one will probably be the smallest key, so I'll just try the smallest key.
I will just say you managed to get them unlocked. If you're not planning,
Yay!
if you're not planning to take any other like actions this turn, we can say that is your action. You currently have a. You realise now that he is unmanacled, fully unconscious, fully grown man, slumped against you.
I'll like call over to Sorul and be like, Sorul, help me move this man.
Sorul nods and starts to move towards you.
And yeah, that'll be it. On my next turn, I'll start trying to heft him out.
Cool. It is Sorul's turn. He runs over, puts an arm under this guy's arm, under his shoulder, and I will say we'll count it as like a held action. The two of you begin dragging him towards this room.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're back to the top. Giliana, you seem to have bought a bit of time with this Cloud of Dagger spell. Would you leave the door and follow the rest of the group?
Oh,
what are you
God.
doing?
Yeah. Or do I like barricade it?
I mean, you could, it's a door that opens inward. You could pull the table over that you hid under and use it to block the door, at least for a while.
Yeah, I'll do that just to be safe, because we don't need like a whole load of cult members coming in. So I'll do that. And I'll try and catch up with everyone else.
Cool. We'll say action to move the table, and then obviously you're moving, and if you wanted to, you can actually get in front of everyone by bonus action dashing if you wanted to be in the lead.
Sure, let's do that.
Cool. So,
Why not?
I mean, you'll have a full 60 feet of movement, so you could get all the way into that room if you wanted.
Yeah, sure.
Now that you're in that room, Giliana, free action, can you give me a perception check, please?
23.
God damn. You can hear, like, even through the heavy wood of the door, you can hear a muffled voice, and you realize the reason you can hear it is because it is so deep and bassy. You can almost like feel it more than you can hear it. It is the only voice you can hear, but it is incredibly deep.
Okay. From the door in front of me, I can hear that coming from?
Yep.
Shit. Okay. Shit.
Ah.
Right. I will say for now, within reason, because obviously the Cloud of Daggers is only going to last for like less than a minute at this point, but even then with the table, that would give you guys a couple of minutes at the door. You guys have, a round of a couple of actions. What would you guys want to do to get, like, I'm not going to make you do it in turn here, but what would you guys want to do to prepare to go through this door? Are you guys going to stash this guy's body somewhere, or this unconscious person somewhere while you check out this door? Or are you guys going to bother checking out the door now that you can hear a voice? What's your plan?
I might just pop a cure wounds into this guy. It's not going to do a huge amount because I've only got a first level to spare, but it will at least kind of keep him going and stop him from instantly dying.
Can I prestidigitate just to clean him up a little bit as well?
I mean, yeah, you start cleaning off a lot of the blood. He is still freely bleeding, but yeah, you can start cleaning up a lot of like the worst parts.
That's 9 points of healing.
Bloody hell, 9 points of healing on him is not an insignificant amount. You watch as all of the wounds immediately stop bleeding. Like, he has undergone severe torture. He is not going to be like fully healed here, even with the 9 points. But you can see he sort of begins to rouse from consciousness. But the extent of the damage is so much that like the most he can do is like look around, blink, acknowledge you guys, answer very simple yes/no questions. But he can at least like lift himself. He couldn't move very quick or very far, but he can like support his own weight even for a little bit.
I'm going to move Joachim into the room so I can actually see what it's like in here. Is there going to be a possibility that we can close this door behind us and kind of make it look like we've just disappeared into thin air, sort of?
You absolutely can. Like you know, this was a secret door within this hideout. You know, it's reasonable to assume that maybe not everyone here knows about it. Would you be bringing the injured guy in here with you?
I think so. Otherwise, they're just going to take him back, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you
Pop
bring
him
him
on one of the
On
altars.
He'll be fine.
he sits on the edge of one of the altars, sort of leans back, breathing heavily. But is the plan then to get everyone else into this room?
Yeah, that
Sounds good to me.
We like getting ourselves into tight squeezes, hey?
I'll
I'll
relay that I heard this really deep sounding voice through that door.
Not to give the game away, but once you guys are in here, are you trying to be quiet?
Yeah.
I think if we know about the voice, then yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Can I get everyone then, as a group, to give me a stealth check? And as a reminder, I do group stealth checks, so even if one of you rolls really, really bad, it doesn't matter, we're taking the average.
Oh, well, that's good because I rolled a 7.
I hope so, because I rolled a 4.
Oh God.
Oh no!
I rolled an 8.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Wait.
Does Cyril get to...
He is rolling as well. He has a +6. So he has rolled a 22.
24.
Okay, so 22, 24, what was it, a 6, a 7, and an 8 or something for the three of you?
Yeah.
3 fails, right?
4.
That's going to average...
Wait, does the injured guy get to roll as well?
He's not moving, so he's not making any noise.
Oh, so that sounds like a free success then.
Well, he's just not rolling. Like I said, I'm not taking I'm literally taking the average score, so I'm literally now I'm literally now having to
Maths it.
what is the... Okay, so the average of all those is a 13.
Oh.
Which isn't terrible, considering I've just described the only sound you can hear is like a really bassy tone, which is literally the only reason Gilead can even hear it is because of how deep it is. So I'm not telling you whether that succeeds or fails, I'm just telling you that's what happens. So now that you guys are all in here with the door closed and everyone trying to be quiet, you can all hear that voice. It isn't constantly talking, there is quite clearly some sort of conversation, but it is the only voice from the conversation you can hear is this deep resonant bass that almost seems to vibrate in your chest.
Perhaps I can find out what they're saying over there. Can I cast clairvoyance on the other side of the door?
Fuck
Specifically says, like,
yes.
Fuck yeah, that's what I heard.
So it's an invisible sensor. It can be in behind a door. It says that remains in place for the duration. Can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. I can only see or hear. I
Yeah.
can't do both.
Which would you like to do?
I think hearing is going to be more important at this point. I'd like to hear what they're saying.
Amazing. Right, I need to...
I can switch between those, so I can do that if need be. They can see the sensor if they've got like see invisibility or true sight or something like that. Basically, if they can see something invisible.
Oh,
they'll see the
damn,
sensor.
okay, hold on. I'm glad you said that. Let me just double check something. Which fucking... There it is in this window, that's fine.
This is totally fine, and I've definitely not gotten us into any trouble.
Not any trouble that we wouldn't have gotten into anyway.
Does the door lock? Can we lock it? Yeah.
Just lock ourselves in this room, it's fine.
We
It's
live
not
here
home now.
And presumably it's a secret door, so the other side just looks like something's appeared on the other side of a wall.
Okay, no, you're lucky. The ability he has isn't for seeing invisible things.
Whew.
So, I'm trying to clear my throat here because I'm going to try and do all the voices, which are going to be very hard on me specifically.
We sit here for 10 minutes listening to...
And a rock and lava burning for as far as the eye can see. Near to the door is a human man, dressed finely in noble attire. He is greying with a close-cropped, well-tended beard, but even with his body partially obscured as he stands in profile to you talking to these two other people in the room that I will describe in a second, you can see that his eyes are sunken with heavy bags beneath them, where he would, you imagine, once have stood quite rigid and straight. You can see there is a slight slump in his shoulders of exhaustion and almost as if he has given up a little bit. More worryingly are the two other people he is speaking to. On the opposite side of the room to him stands a black, hunched, dragonoid-like creature with a long, narrow face, curled, wicked black wings, wearing sleek black armor that accentuates its scales. So dark is this creature that you're pretty sure if it were to stand back in the shadows, you would lose sight of it completely. And more terrifyingly, between the two of them, stood directly in front of this portal, is a creature 12 feet tall, with tight, armor-like scales covering its body. It stands wearing exquisite blue and silver armor, with great long horns that almost touch the 16-foot high ceiling of this room. Held almost lazily in the crook of its arm is an exceptionally long, vicious-looking bident with flames licking along the spikes on the end. Its wicked black eyes stare down at this man before him, who seems to flinch away from his gaze, and he speaks once again.
While your work has been well received by the lady, there is much more to be done.
I'll be like relaying all of this to the others as I'm hearing it.
Yeah. This, you realize as well, is that bassy voice. Like, as he speaks and as Mercy's relaying this, you guys can, again, almost hear the words through the door.
You are to continue working with Inverdox. Supply him with the soldiers he needs. I will be back in a few days to check how the operation is going. Do not fail me.
And you see it steps through this portal, and as it turns away, both the man fully bows at the waist, almost touching his head to the floor. This black dragonoid-like creature dips its head a fraction, but not showing an overmuch level of deference. and this creature ducks, bringing its horns below the level of this magical threshold, steps through and disappears. Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us. As usual, I would just like to thank Lixie B for our wonderful logo, and Jeff for all of the fantastic art for our characters in Season 2. Don't forget, you can check out more of Jeff's work on our online store, where you can find his artwork used on our stickers and t-shirts. Also, a massive shout out to the Stormweather Shanty Choir for allowing us to use their song Drunken Sailor as our intro and outro music. Also, a massive thank you to our wonderful sponsors DM Dice and Arcanist Rum. Find links to both of their websites in our description. And finally, a massive shout out and thank you to all of our Patreon supporters who continue to support us in everything we do. Your support means the world to us, and we hope that we can go on making fantastic content thanks to you. So once again, our recommended podcasts are just the 3 shows from all of our guests, so if you want to check them out, they are Cybertopia, Realms of Peril and Glory, and Deck of Many Aces. We do have another at least 1 episode with these lovely guests, looking ahead at the timestamps, possibly 2. And then we have another guest session that we've already recorded the first part of. It would have been recorded in 1 part if I had remembered to hit record again after we came back from our break. But there's going to be at least 2 episodes from that one as well. So look forward to that. We have more amazing guests coming up. But other than that, I just have a couple of things I want to shout out. Over the summer, I'm involved in a couple of different really fun D&D activities. One is actually later this month, so July 20th I will be running a table at Elveston Castle in Derby, where they're doing a D&D in a castle event. So currently it's only running on the Saturday. There are only a handful of seats left. My table is sold out, unfortunately. There are still a handful of seats available at other tables, but I have been reliably told if we sell all of these out quickly enough, they will probably run the same games again on Sunday, at which point my table will become available again. So if that sounds of interest to you, go and check it out. I'll put a link in the description here, and keep an eye out because we might be opening up again for the Sunday with more seats available. As well as that, I think I've mentioned it before, but in August, Roll Dark are doing another GM Academy, where we have a bunch of our professional DMs are going to talk to you about how to improve your own game as a DM. I will be running a session at this where I will be talking about traps. As you've probably heard me talking about, I love making traps for our Patreon. I love using them in the podcast and all of my games. So I'll just be running a little segment on creating your own traps, creating themed traps, and just trying to make them seem logical in your setting so that they aren't just a spike trap for the sake of a spike trap, but have a purpose and a reason for being there. But other than that, that's it for this week's episode. Thanks very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you soon.